eyes for the torchlight of knowledge. So this is a mantra from the Sri Upanishad, one of the Vedic literatures. One who always sees through authority all living entities as spiritual sparks, in quality one with the Lord, becomes a true knower of things. What is there as illusion or anxiety for him? So, everyone here in this world is trying for equality. We see there's a lot of injustice. There's a lot of discrimination, racism, so many inequalities. So naturally, people are they're very much hankering to establish equality among all living beings. Not just human beings, but even the animals. They're also equal to us. But although everyone has this propensity to somehow establish equality amongst all living entities, the injustice is being done, and there's clash, there are conflicts, and there's no equality. So we should understand that this equality is on a spiritual platform. If you try to establish equality on a material platform, or the platform of the body, then you can only experience frustration over and over and over. There cannot be equality on a material plane, because the material plane means suffering. It is meant for that purpose. The body is meant for suffering. Just like waking up early in the morning. It is suffering. Working hard. Sometimes people, they laugh. They say, "Oh, what nonsense, you're wasting time here chanting like crazy for some Krishna, for some God, some imaginary character." I enjoy very nicely. You monks, you have to renounce so many things. I enjoy very nicely. I work, I get my salary, and I enjoy very nicely without any problem, without any limitation. Money can give me all the pleasures in the world. He does not understand that for that money, he has to work hard on a job. 8 hours, sometimes even more. So this is, again, suffering. It is suffering. The pleasure you can get from your salary, yes, there is. But in order to get that pleasure, you have to pay by your time. You have to dedicate your time, sacrifice your time for working, your physical power, mental power. Sacrifice, you have to. If you say, "No, I'm just going to sit down and the food will drop from the sky into my mouth," then that will not happen. That is not possible. So, this material body is full of miseries. The spirit soul is Satchit Ananda. It is eternal, it is full of knowledge, it is full of bliss. But the material body is quite to the opposite. It is non-permanent, impermanent. It is full of ignorance. I do not even know what is going on there, how the blood is going, how the digestion is working. I am full of ignorance. And it is full of misery. There are three main miseries inflicted on the body. Adi Klesha, Adi Devika Klesha, Adi Bhotika Klesha, and Adi Atmika Klesha. What is that? The suffering caused by our own body, health problems, mental problems. So we're suffering all the time, some bodily inconvenience. Then there's Adi Atmika, the sufferings of I made a mistake. Adibodhika is the sufferings of the body. Atmika is the suffering of the mind. And Adidevika is the suffering inflicted by the demigods, natural catastrophes. Just like there was scorching heat sometimes, and there is freezing cold. So that we're also suffering. And we're also suffering by the other living entities. They're inflicting pain on us. Always some kind of a problem, some clash of interest. So it is not possible to make improvements on the bodily plane. Just like I gave the example that no matter how you want to make the toilet room clean, nice, the toilet bowl, ultimately it will be again dirty. That is foolish idea. Let me make the toilet room my kitchen. But we're trying to do that. We're trying to make from this material life, we're trying to make a perfect, comfortable, enjoyable life. So even if you achieve that, you'll be kicked out by death. At the time of death, you'll be kicked out. You cannot keep. Just imagine how much suffering it must be for that soul. I have worked so much in this life, and now I have to give everything up. What is this? So again, it's suffering. Simply improving on the bodily platform. My body, yes, I have to take care of the body. But simply taking care of the body, is that intelligent? The body is just a vehicle, like a car. If I wash my car the whole day, 24 hours, I just wash, and I die of starvation myself, is it a very intelligent proposal?
I wouldn't say so.
No, it is not very intelligent. This is most foolish. But this is our position. You know, we're taking care of the body, but no care of the soul. Especially in our so-called modern civilization. No education about who I am. No education. There's the children there thrown into the school system. Whether you like it or not, this is the knowledge. This is what we consider knowledge. Now you become a very nicely trained animal. Very nicely trained animal. So we can put you into the markets so you can generate income. And engage in activities which are meant to destroy this world. Yes. It's all artificial. All the civilization, all these jobs, artificial, most artificial. There is no benefit in such jobs. The real benefit is to grow foods, to take care of the cow, to make something meaningful for the people. What is this? Cell phone and this phone, the commercial, and subway, and this, the car. It's all useless. We have made our life so complicated. We have made these machines because I made a car. Now I have to utilize the car, so I have to drive 100 miles to get to my job. Right? Because otherwise car has no meaning, so we have to make this artificial, meaningless life so we can utilize these machines. We have become the slaves of the machines. Instead of utilizing the machines for the glorification of Krishna, we have become the slaves of the machines. So people should understand who I am, who is God, and what is the relationship between these two. What is my relationship to God? So what is that relationship? Yes, I have a relationship always, eternally. God is there, I am there. God is taking care of me. I might even rebel against God. God is supplying all the necessities, whatever you need, God is supplying. Krishna is supplying. So the relationship is there. But it is perverted. I'm simply taking advantage of God. I've engaged God as my servant. That is my mentality. It's like people come here and they say, what is the proof that Krishna is God? What is the proof? Prove it to me. And this is true. So who are you? Who are you? You're nonsense. You're nonsense. You're fully under the influence of the material energy. Fully. Even your own minds, you cannot control. Right? The mind is always going here and there, here and there. It cannot be focused. Always some kind of a distraction. See? I want to control my mind. I want to pay attention. But I can't. That means I am under control. So if you are under control of the material energy, how you want to understand Krishna? That is not possible. The material energy is keeping you blind. Blind. And why am I entangled in these laws of material energy? Why? What is the cause? Because I want to be the Supreme Master. Everyone wants to be the Supreme Master. No one wants to be the servant. Everyone wants to be on the top, top. I am the best. I am the best. My family is the best. See, I'm not selfish. I think of the family. So our family is the best. Our nation is the best. Canada, we're the best in the world. See, I'm not selfish. I'm a nationalist. Simply extended selfishness, the same selfishness, you're simply expanding it, family or nation-wise. Or religion, I have the best religion, our religion is the best. Nonsense. It is nonsense. This I have to give up, this mentality, trying to be the Supreme Lord and Master. I have to give it up. That is the preliminary qualification to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, sir. Unless you submit, unless you become a little humble, unless you understand your position, you have no choice, no freedom. You think, I can choose. I can choose to be a Krishna devotee or I can choose not to be. No, you have no choice. If you do not surrender voluntarily, then you have to serve Krishna's inferior energy. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karamani sarvasa aha kara vimudatma katamiti manati. You cannot escape. Just like the example is given, is that the government, they build nice educational institutions, school, Concordia University. And simultaneously they build jail. So now the citizen, he has a choice. He either becomes a gentleman, educated, or becomes a rascal, a criminal. So the government supplies both. But it cannot be both. A criminal and at the same time freedom. That is not possible. And similarly, if he is educated, then he will not be subjugated to the laws of the government. Of course, nowadays, the criminals running everywhere. The very government is full of thieves. Just like they're printing this money, the paper money. They can print whatever they like. Whatever number they like. They can print as many papers as they like. There's no value. You're working hard like an ass. There's a value in your work, and they simply give you some paper. The greatest thieves, the government. But we're so foolish. We don't question. We just go on like animals. Go on, go on, go on, go on. So that's why Lord Chaitanya comes to wake us up. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. You wake up, sleeping soul. What are you doing here? Chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Come to your real eternal position. Your eternal soul. You don't belong here. You can eternally enjoy with me in the spiritual world. So this is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Although we're dull-headed, I am dull-headed, I am a rascal number one, Krishna comes form of sound. He comes through the sound. Sound no one can refuse. To suddenly chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So someone who blocked his ears, oh, I don't want this Krishna. But the fact that he blocked his ears means that Krishna already entered. He already entered. And in due course, he's going to kick out all the garbage from the hearts. See? There's so much dust accumulated in the heart. So it is not recreation or sentimentalism. It is a very difficult job, this Krishna consciousness. So we should understand that I am simply a part and parcel of Krishna. This is my relationship. I have the same quality as Krishna has. I am transcendental, he is transcendental. But I am minute and he is the complete. Just like you have the finger, right? The finger is the part and parcel of the body. So the finger takes foodstuff, brings to the mouth. Now someone says, why Krishna? Why are you serving Krishna? Why you don't serve Shiva, or Brahma, or my boss, or my wife? So there are different parts and parcels also. I do not supply the foodstuff into my nose, into my eye, into my ear. I supply it to the mouth. Someone says, why are you so fanatical only in the mouth? Put it in the eye and the ear. Foolishness. So everyone wants to serve. Yes, that is very good. But we have to serve in a proper way and the proper person. So the proper person to serve is the Lord, Supreme Lord, God. When we say Krishna, we mean God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is not an impersonal. He does have an impersonal aspect, but He Himself is a person. If God is not a person, then how you can be a person? How you can be a person? Your personality. You have your individuality. Your choices, your freedom. So how God can be impersonal? Is that some logic? Then you do not understand who is God. Janmadhyasya yataha. From the Vedas we can understand a perfect definition of God. Universal definition of God. God is that from which everything emanates. Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udakshati Purnasya Purnamivaya Shishyati. He emanates so many units, so many energies from His transcendental body. But He Himself doesn't become diminished. He is still the complete. He's still the complete Krishna. But we have become frustrated with the personal aspect here in this material because we are trying to lord it over here. So that's why we cannot accept the personality of God. It becomes very bitter for us. I have suffered so much in these personal relationships in this material world. I was trying to be the Lord and Master. I get kicked on the face with boots. Now again another person, Krishna, and God is a person. No, this I don't like. So we have to cure this bitter taste. We have to cure it. Just because I have become disappointed doesn't mean that the Lord now has to become subjugated or subjected. The very concept of God must be subjected to my diseased conception of life. Because a person is suffering from jaundice. When someone suffers from jaundice, everything he tastes, it tastes bitter. Doesn't mean that the sweet is not sweet. It is sweet. Krishna is sweet, like nectar. But we have to give up this. There are two diseases: the moha, illusion, and lamentation or shoka. What is it, moha? Moha means I am the Lord and Master. Now I can control everything here in this material world. I'm in charge of my life. I'm in charge of my family. In charge of my wife. I'm in charge of everything. What are you telling me this, Krishna? I am God. That is moha. What God you are? You are a dog You'll be kicked again and again and again until you learn. But then, again, another form of disease, shoka, lamentation. If I could not enjoy, then I lament, or deny, or become subjugated to lethargy, frustration. Oh, what is the use of this world's suicide policy? Let me make everything zero. Zero. God is zero. God doesn't have any eyes, any ears, any face. He doesn't do anything. It's just a concept. See? And because we have such diseased concept, that we can take that concept and throw it in the garbage. See, that is what's going on. People are giving up the concept of God. Watch, if God is not a person, then I am also not a person. My personal form is simply some kind of a material temporary position. And when I come to my liberated state, then there's no difference between me and God. Mayavad is impersonal disease. So that is a very frustrating philosophy. The Krishna consciousness movement is to cure this. We should take this up, this cure. No, Krishna is a supreme personality. He's a person. Just like you and me, we're persons. So Krishna is also a person. God is a person. Otherwise, how can He create all this wonderful manifestation? There must be intelligence. And when there's intelligence, there must be personality. The energy doesn't have any personality. Just like we have earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. These are Krishna's inferior energy. So they have no free will. There's no dynamic force. These energies, they become alive when they're controlled by the spirit, by the spiritual energy. So I cannot have a relationship with something that is impersonal. That is not possible. Impersonal means God is everything. The impersonal, they say, Aham Brahmasmi. God is everything. You cannot limit God and He's only this or only that. He is everything. So if God is everything, then how can I have a relationship? Relationship means two. There must be two. So if there's no relationship with God, then how can I have a relationship with others? It's simply a show. I care about others. I have respect. I respect the equality, spiritual or material equality with others. Simply a show. Deep inside, I think that everything, I am God, you are God, everything is God. Nonsense. If you're God, if you're the Supreme, how come you are subjugated by this material energy? That you cannot explain, my friend. How come you subjugated by the material energy? So much in ignorance. So we go to school because we don't know. We learn. If I knew everything, because that is the definition of God, omniscient, all knowledge. He knows everything. And I wouldn't need a teacher. I wouldn't need to read books. I wouldn't need to do anything. But every step of life, we're depending on something. So when we come and we ask you, please, you surrender to Krishna. You depend on Krishna. You're already depending on Krishna. But not willingly. You're depending on His material energy. So now you depend on Krishna. Don't worry about these material things. Don't worry about your job, your family, your wife, all these things. All these material nonsense things. They're nonsense. Why? Because you cannot keep them. They come and go. Just like the seasonal changes. They come and go. Now if I become crazy, I say, I want the winter. What is this? And I make a big protest. I go to the parliament. I speak to Trudeau. That I protest. I want the winter back. I'm a fool number one. So in the same way, if I become attached to these flickering, impermanent, material things, then I'm a fool number one. You give it up. Give it up, my friend. Give it up all these attachments to material things. And you simply chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this is not impersonal. This is also attachment, but this is the real attachment. The real attachment is for Krishna. Krishna is the reservoir, the source of all pleasure. He's the source of all pleasure. So if I am associating with the reservoir of pleasure, then what else do I need? So that is possible. Personal association with Krishna through this chanting is possible. You can experience it. Simply you make an experiment. What is the loss there if you chant this Maha Mantra? The mind always contemplating some nonsense, how to control this material energy. If you analyze yourself, that's what we do. We're always contemplating how to control the situation, how to be the Lord and Master, how to enjoy the most, how to exploit others. All the time, all the time. How to argue. So let me give this up. And let me fill up my mind with this holy sound of Krishna's name. Let me do something productive. And while I'm here, this short period of time, very soon death will come. You will face this situation. Now it's finished. Now the time has come. That moment I was always contemplating, what is it going to be like? Or I didn't contemplate. If I was a fool, I was living my life like an animal, simply going on, enjoying, and leaving the death question hidden somewhere. Sweep it under the carpet. So it will come, yes. Now we have to leave, my friend. Now that's it. Finish. No more plans. Your plans, what you have done. Sometimes when people have a near-death experience, they realize, what am I doing? This is not important in life. The important is my spiritual development. That is important. These things, they're not very important. So this Hare Krishna chanting is a very convenient way how immediately you can come to the spiritual platform. Immediately, without any qualification. Lord Chaitanya says that for this holy name, this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, there are no hard and fast rules. But I am so unfortunate that even though it is so, and Krishna has invested himself with all his energies into this holy name, I still have no taste for it. Now, why I have no taste? Because I want to be the Lord and Master. I want to be in the joy. So don't try to be the Master. You cannot be the Master. You're always a servant. Even the more you try to be the Master, the more you become the servant of the material energy, depending on so many complexities, so many things in the material world. Try to become a servant. You surrender. Surrender to Krishna. How do we understand Krishna? Through the medium of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is not a god, but he is the supreme servitor of God. That's why we give respect to the spiritual master. Serving devotees. Krishna is not alone. Krishna is always with his devotees. Just like you see all these pictures of Krishna. Krishna is always with some of his devotees. He's never alone. So we give respect to Krishna and we give respect to his devotees. Ultimately, we're all devotees of Krishna. Everyone. Everyone. We're all servants of God. This is the true equality. We're all parts and parcels of God. This is what connects us all. And if we miss God, if God is not there, then all these relationships are simply big hypocrisy. There is no equality, there is no connection, there is no friendship, there is no community. All these things will fail. Just like this Canada was established. But again, it will be destroyed. This Canada will not exist any longer in 5,000 years from now. United States of America. The material world. Bhutva praliyati. It's being formed and again it's being destroyed. They build a nice building, then they destroy it, build another one, and so on and so on. But Krishna was always here and always will be here. And I'm also here, always. I'm eternal. And I will always be here. So let me do something for my eternal platform. That is intelligence. So, if there are any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Well, you say that is the material plane that's the source of all suffering. So what's the difference between
Isn't
this
it?
plane or some other plane?
Isn't it full of suffering?
I think it's ignorance that's the source of suffering. It's not some material plane, so let me escape this plane. Or
What is material plane? Well, how do you define material plane? What is matter?
what's material plane for you?
No, I'm asking you first.
Material plane? I don't think there's a material plane or some other plane.
No, when you
They all
say
share
when you say material plane, what do you mean?
The material plane, like the physical pleasures, the physical pain.
Okay, we have a different understanding of what is material plane.
So what is it for you?
Material plane means that I want to be the Lord and Master. I want to be the Lord and Master. That is material plane. So, if I want to be Lord and Master, I can even make a show of spiritual life. It's material.
So
That so-called-
that's it. That's
Sorry, I just finished.
yeah.
The so-called religion or spiritual is material because that person again is trying to be the Lord and Master in the name of spirituality, in the name of religion, in the name of self-realization. So it is material. It is not spiritual. And that's why people are giving up religion, because it turned material. You see? And if you are trying to be the servant of Krishna, then you might have lots of money, you might have a wife, a beautiful wife, you might have all kinds of things, and you might be very spiritual. The difference is that you utilize all these things in the service of Krishna. And you're spiritual. And as soon as you utilize them for your sense gratification, then it is material. So this is our ignorance. We think we're the Lord and Master. And should be given up. If I don't want to give it up, I have to suffer.
And I have another question also.
No, first this question is clear. Is it clear?
It's clear. I understand. It's wanting to be more than like servant of Krishna.
Yeah.
And the second question, you say that government is like they don't educate you, they don't know. Do you want to get the door?
Yeah, he's going to.
Okay. So the government is like so bad, like, but they're merely ignorant. They also don't know the joys of like being spiritual. Don't they need compassion?
Compassion, you have to know how to give. For example, if someone is suffering from, it's called, I forgot the name of typhus fever. You know typhus fever?
Some fever, some disease.
Okay, because when you suffer from typhus, you cannot take solid food.
Mm-hmm.
If you take solid food, you immediately die. So patients like that, they have to fast. But just because they're fasting doesn't mean that the taste will disappear. So they have hankering for food. Now, if you want to be compassionate, externally you see, this person, he's hankering for food. Let me give him something. So you might even see like he's enjoying the food very nicely, but actually you kill him. So compassion, this is very good what you're trying to do, but compassion without knowledge can create the opposite effect. So we have to know how to apply compassion. We can't be just whimsical. The real compassion is for the spirit, for the soul. Just like I was explaining, what is the use of making an adjustment on the material plane? Then you have to suffer. Whatever happiness you're supposed to get, you will get. Rest assured. It is already planned out. And whatever suffering is there, even if you try to avoid, you cannot avoid. So why should I tax my brain how to adjust this situation? The more I try to adjust it, the more I become subjugated by the material energy. Let me try for the spiritual side. Let me try to awaken my spiritual consciousness. And the real compassion is to awaken the spiritual consciousness in others as well. That is real compassion. Otherwise you can say compassion, compassion, compassion. There's no meaning, it's very vague. There's so many people who want to be compassionate, and it simply creates misery in the world. See, a thief, he wants to be very compassionate to his family, because the family, they need to be maintained. Right? The thief also has a family, so he's very compassionate to his family. You know, my children, they're starving, you know, they need some food. My wife needs this and that. So I have to steal. See, now he comes and he goes and steals from your place. You're going to be very happy. If you come back now to your apartment and everything is stolen, your money, your everything, you're going to be very happy.
I know that he...
No, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be disturbed.
Not really.
Okay, you can say,
I
but
would know that it goes...
any sane person will be disturbed. If his apartment is robbed, any sane person will be disturbed.
No need
So
to
you
be
are
judgmental.
okay. You're a special case. You're a special case. But a sane person will be disturbed. Okay. So that thief, by his compassion, he's creating suffering for someone else.
But I can forgive him. I know that he wants.
What is
to
the
do good.
meaning? What is the meaning of this? We're
What I'm
speaking.
getting at is that
We're speaking the principle. The principle. You can say forgiveness, compassion. These are just words. Doesn't mean anything. Unless you define what you mean, doesn't mean anything. Anyone can say, "I love you. I love you." That is good. It's a good sentiment. But unless it is scientifically understood, there's no meaning. No meaning. We have a very clear idea how to be compassionate. You awaken yourself. I am a spirit soul. I'm a servant of Krishna, God. The meaning of my life is to serve Krishna, not my senses, or senses of others, the bodies of others. So we can very clearly explain what is compassion. But you cannot. So what is the use of arguing? What's the use of this?
we argue to understand.
No, but you have to be willing to understand. If you don't want to understand, I can argue so many, we can go on forever. There's no meaning. It's a waste of time.
But in that aspect, aren't you propagating something that says that the knowledge comes just from your youth? I mean, or that other knowledge or other sources of knowledge are negated.
How is knowledge coming from you?
I mean, when you're talking about the fact that, like for example, he asked a couple of questions. He has his own viewpoint. He has his own, for example, his way of treating somebody who might steal from him. He has his way. Somebody might have. So, in one way, what you're saying is you have a different. You have some sort of a better understanding. This is what it's coming out as. It may be not admitted. That's a different case because. But it's really coming out as.
What is your point?
have.
What is your point?
Huh?
What is your point?
No, my point is that there is no one source of knowledge.
And that is knowledge.
Hmm?
And that is knowledge. You say there is no knowledge. You just made an absolute statement.
In what way?
Because you said how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. You said there is no knowledge. So that is the absolute knowledge. Any other questions? Any other questions?
No.
No?
I have a question.
I'm
Yes?
just watching your reaction.
So, how do we, how can we like actually verify it? Like you were saying, we cannot come in a challenging mood to understand if Krishna is the ultimate, if he is God, but what is the qualification to ultimately realize it? Because this knowledge is meant to be realized, right? It's not just theoretical knowledge, like you were explaining. So what is the qualification of someone who wants to understand?
He must be, I already explained this. He must know his situation. We're gonna die. We can argue, ultimately we have to die. Right?
And what happens after that? I mean, is it always that constant cycle of birth and death? I mean,
Well, first of all, we have to understand this. We don't even understand this. We're carrying on
of course.
as though
I get
death
it. I get it.
didn't exist.
Mhm.
So, the Arjuna, you familiar with Bhagavad Gita?
Of
Okay.
course.
Arjuna, this is how the Bhagavad Gita starts. He understands his position. He understands that my controlling, my so-called limited knowledge is limited. I cannot solve. Now my duty is to fight. I'm a fighter, Kshatriya. But these are my family members. Somehow the destiny made it in such a way that now I'm facing my own relatives and I'm supposed to kill them. So what is this? Well, how do I solve this? At this point, when he understands, I don't know, then he can understand. But we think, I know everything. I know so many things. I have my point of view and you have your point of view, and my point of view is very important, and why are you trying to diminish it? We're equal, and so on, so on. But, what do I know? Can you stop death? Can you stop your own death? Are you free from death?
No, of course not.
No,
It's just a cycle,
yes,
you
but
go into it and then
yeah, but I don't want to die. See, because I'm eternal. I'm a spirit soul. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmi natadi komanam yovanam jara tata dehantara prabdir dhirastatara muhyati. Just like you had a body of a small baby. That body was there at one point. Now your body of a grown-up person, that body is also there. Just because your baby body is no longer here, doesn't mean that you're not here. You're still here. But the baby body, all the cells are replaced. That means that the consciousness does not depend on the existence of the body. No faith, no belief, no sentiment. Pure logic. Very simple to understand. I am eternal. Where is this concept of eternity coming from? If there's no eternity, where is it coming from? How can matter, which is impermanent, manufacture a concept of eternity? It's not possible. There must be eternity. I am eternal. The consciousness is eternal. All this is changing. Now, how do I know it is changing? Because I am not changing. Okay? So, we're so much absorbed in this body, enjoying the senses and the material plane and so on and so on, that we don't actually understand. We misidentify the spirit soul with the material, with the body. I think this is my body, this is who I am. I'm a man, I'm a very strong man. I'm from this country, that country, this is my religion, this is my family, and so on. So many designations on the bottom plane. But the soul has nothing to do with it. You can have a slight idea, just like a shadow. You can have an idea about the shape of the object which casts a shadow. But you cannot derive any pleasure from the shadow. Right? If there's some beautiful girl, if you try to hug her shadow, there's not going to be any pleasure.
Soul and shadow are two very different things. This is soul. What's your understanding of the soul?
No. Shadow is the body.
Yeah. Okay.
The body is like a reflection of the soul. You can have a slight idea of the soul, but it's not the soul. So we don't. We're because so much absorbed in the body, we think that the body will go on forever. Now you can see people. Everyone is carrying on. Why do I need this Krishna consciousness? What nonsense you telling me? I gotta go. I got my job. I have to earn money. So that is what we have to understand, first of all. Otherwise, there's no meaning of learning anything. We can't learn. It's like you go to a university, you want to study something, medicine or law or whatever. You have to have some interest in the subject matter, first of all. You have to have some ambition. Yeah, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. If you go to the university and the first day in school, you say to the teacher, what is the proof that you know the thing? Well, who are you? Get out. It's the professor. He knows his thing. He's been teaching there for many years. What right you have to challenge? That means you're not qualified. See, two things are necessary. Yeah, the knowledge must be perfect, definitely, but you also must be willing to accept the truth. Not at all, this truth I don't like, because if this is the truth, then I have to do so many things. So let me not accept this truth. I have a different truth, and I respect your truth. And no, that is not truth. Truth has nothing to do whether you like it or not like it. Truth is truth. If it breaks your whole life, if it makes it topsy-turvy, be it. If you're truly honest, be it. If you're a cheater, then you will not be able to accept the truth. Whether we present it this way or that way, ultimately you won't be able to accept it.
Yeah, no.
So this question is clarified.
So how do we become, because like you said before, we're so engrossed in the body that we don't even notice that we're going to die. It's so illusion.
Yeah.
So how do we kind of force ourselves to understand that we're going to die? Like, is suffering is the only way to understand actually that we're going to die? Or?
No. You need help from Krishna. So this chanting actually gives you a feeling of eternity. This chanting, this Hare Krishna mantra is not a material mantra. Don't think it's a material mantra. It's fully spiritual. If you chant this, we chant this over and over and over. For many years we've been chanting. And still so much pleasure derived. Where is such a sound? Which is, you can chant for so many years, on and on. In the morning we chant, in the evening, go out, chant for the people outside, always. Many hours, 24 hours if possible, chanting Hare Krishna, the same mantra, same again and again and again. And there's pleasure, immense pleasure. How is that? Because this sound is spiritual. It is not different from Krishna. When we say, here in this world, the water and the substance water are two different things. There's duality. But in the spiritual world, the substance and the name of the substance are one. There's no duality. So when we chant Krishna, Krishna is present with all his potencies, everything. He's present on your tongue. He's dancing. So if you simply chant this Maha Mantra, you'll get the taste of eternity, and then you will understand, what mess I am in, this material world. This is not actually pleasurable. You lose taste for all these things. You lose taste for illicit sex. You lose taste for meeting. You lose taste for mundane entertainment, television, internet. You lose taste. You don't force yourself. You don't put yourself on a guilt trip. This is sinful. This is the devil. And please don't. No, it's natural. This Krishna consciousness is natural. Believe it or not. It works on the principle of higher taste. So we're giving the taste to everyone. Please come, chant, take prasada. Taste this. First, get a little taste. And then you can understand. If you have no taste, and if you're stubborn, if you want to enjoy the material world, no matter what, I cannot help you, the spiritual master cannot help you, Krishna cannot help you. Because it is not Krishna's interest, just like we're reading in the portion, the clash of interest, but it is not Krishna's interest to force you to surrender. We are here because of our free will. We have decided, yes, I want to enjoy separately from God. I want to be myself God and argue with many other gods forever and ever. So if you want to do that, you can go on. Make another material body, make many other material desires, and Krishna will give you. What this human form? Why you need this human form? You can't enjoy sex life without any discrimination. Get a body of a dog. You can have sex life on the street as many times as you like. You can rape, you can do all kinds of things, no one will arrest you. So you get a body of a dog. If you want sex life without any discrimination, get a body of a dog or a pigeon. Krishna is simply fulfilling our desire. So if I'm intelligent, I'm going to desire intelligently. Let me desire for Krishna. Instead of for me, let me desire for Krishna. What Krishna likes. That is where true religion begins. What does Krishna want? I'm simply meditating on what I want and how to utilize God for my sense gratification. But the real religion begins when I inquire, what does God want? What does He want?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And then you come to the spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge means this. How to satisfy God, not how to satisfy me. So it is a science. It's not a sentiment.
Now I got a question. So,
Yes?
how do you inquire what does God want? I mean, something that's so infinite, something that's transcendental. What's the purpose of knowing what God wants? I mean, of course, I could imagine. You try to go through. A lot of people do all kinds of things. They try to. There are people who isolate themselves. There are people who do complex meditation. In India, you have all kinds of yogic techniques, tantric meditation, blah blah blah. Try to reach out. The Jains, for example, they fast incessantly. They have they cover their
Yes.
mouths and everything. The Buddhists have their own concept of ahimsa. Everyone has. So what's the beginning? Where does it really start? According to you, or
What is the beginning of what?
where is the beginning of understanding what does God want?
When you understand what He wants. Just like you want something,
Mhm.
right? In life, you want certain things, like your food, or you have some favorite things you like to do. So also, God has that. Krishna says, I want water, leaf, fruit, flower. Very simple. He's asking this. Can you supply me? So if you're a lover of God, you're going to give Him flower, water, leaf, or fruit. You're not going to give Him chicken. Because he doesn't want. If He wants chicken, we're going to give Him chicken. Why not? We don't care. We care for God. We don't care about mundane conception.
How do you know if